Jackrabbit 2 Holiday Hare, not to be confused with Jackrabbit Holiday Hare, is a hair-raising, action-packed adventure, or at least that's what the game's box says. As far as genre goes, the games in this franchise are 2D platformers which are sort of PC's answer to Mario and Sonic. I actually do have memories of playing the original Jackrabbit, but I can't find the box for it, and I'm assuming by the age I had it on my old compy computer, which is in storage at the moment, so I can't really double check it. But as you can see, I do in fact still have the box for Jackrabbit Holiday Hare 2, and the game itself installs from the disc and plays absolutely fine on my modern computer with no need for technical wizardry, which kind of impressed me a fair bit because some modern games, looking at you EA, don't actually play on my computer half the time. Age-wise, the game is apparently now 18 years old, coming out in 1998, which means that it's now old enough that you can legally share a beer with it. The copyright on the back of my version of the game says that it was done in 1999, but I'm guessing that's just due to Australia being late to the bowl game as per usual. Interestingly though, both the blurb on the back of the box and the features section on the back of the box give incorrect information about the game. You see, the blurb reads, Holiday Hare features 5 levels of the best-selling, award-winning arcade game Jackrabbit, and then in the features section it also claims characters fly, swim, and walk their way through 5 levels. The reason this is worth noting is because Jackrabbit 2 Holiday Hare is in fact only 3 levels, not 5. The game does also come with 3 levels of Jackrabbit 2 as a demo, but those 3 levels combined with Holiday Hare's levels would make it 6 levels, not 5, so it would still be inaccurate. It's also sort of weird that they give 3 demo levels for a game when this entire game is only 3 levels, but whatever. That never actually used to seem strange to me because I always considered this to be a shareware game, but the fact that we actually have it on a disc with a box means that we probably paid for it. It does, however, say that it is a Smart Saver game on the front of the box, so I'm assuming we probably paid bargain bin prices for it, and I guess that's fine. But enough background information, let's actually start talking about the game. So as I said, the game itself is 3, not 5, levels long. Each level is wonderfully Christmassy with snowmen and cottages and Christmas wreaths and candy canes, and it's all rather fantastic and magical looking. They really spared no expense, and you can tell that they put a lot of love into updating the graphics of Jackrabbit 2 into a Christmas theme. At the start of this video I mentioned that Jackrabbit is sort of the PC answer to Mario and Sonic, which is an interesting combination because it does attempt to do both of them. This is fine throughout most of the game, but there are some parts of the levels where it becomes a bit difficult because Jackrabbit's control and speed is sort of equivalent to Sonic's, which can become sort of an issue when parts of the level require precision platforming on the level of a Mario game. However, sections like this don't come up that often, and if you get really good at the game, you can still usually blow through it pretty fast. It is sort of weird though that they put such an emphasis on Jackrabbit's speed when you don't get any point bonus for finishing levels under a certain time. That would have been a really good and probably quite easy feature to add, and I'm surprised it's not in there. The enemies, like the rest of the game, have also received sort of a Christmas makeover, but not to as large a degree. They are still the same enemies that you would usually find in Jackrabbit 2, but they're wearing Santa hats and have been decorated with Christmas lights. This might not be a huge change, but it still gets the festive feeling across just fine. Jackrabbit himself has received no graphical change, but he was already green and red in the first place, so he already is sort of Christmassy enough. It would have perhaps been nice to see him wearing a Christmas hat though, like he is on the front cover of the game. Both the enemies and Jackrabbit have absolutely amazing animation, and it really feels like you're playing a cartoon. Everything is really over the top and exaggerated, and it's a real joy to play. As far as the difficulty curve in this game goes, there really isn't one. Each level is about as easy as the prior one, and is only possibly a little longer. Even at the most difficult difficulty setting, and while still exploring the map a fair bit, I was able to pass this game in 38 minutes. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if I could beat the game in 10 to 15 minutes on the easy setting. Furthermore, even the final boss, who seems at first to be at least a little bit difficult to fight, turns out to be quite a pushover when you figure out that you can stand with him just a little bit off screen and take down most of his health without even needing to fight him, provided that you've hoarded the right kind of bullets. Despite the briefness of the levels, however, they are in fact packed full of secrets in the way that a Mario game is, and even to this day, when replaying the game, I still find interesting little hidden rooms and secret pathways. The controls, as I mentioned earlier, are probably closer to a Sonic game than a Mario game, and when you start playing the game, this is sort of hard to get used to. For most modern gamers who have been playing other platformers since this one, they'll probably find these controls to be hypersensitive at first, but just like if you go straight from playing Xbox 360 to playing a Nintendo 64, after maybe a couple of minutes of playing with the old controller, you will recalibrate yourself and you'll get used to the controls pretty darn quickly. However, moving past the obvious comparison between Mario, Sonic, and Jackrabbit, Jackrabbit, unlike his console competitors, has available to him weapons. You start off with your regular one-shot pistol, which becomes upgraded throughout the game if you pick up upgrades, but if you die it goes back to regular. But as it becomes upgraded, it does shoot faster, and because it has unlimited ammo, it really does become your primary weapon. Not limited to this primary weapon, however, the range of weapons available to Jackrabbit is basically that of an entire armory. The range of other weapons you pick up becomes quite impressive as you get ones with bouncing bullets and homing missiles and split shots and whatnot, and it's all very fun to use and comes in handy in all sorts of different situations. The only thing I don't like about these weapons is when you first pick up a new weapon, it automatically defaults as the weapon you're using, which is really annoying if you pick up a pointless one while you're on the run trying to shoot enemies. But you can just easily change back to the weapons you want using the numbers on your keyboard. Most of these controls, and the game in general, is actually rather tight when you get used to it, although I did run into a weird glitch where I moved through the floor at one point when I was spitting on a candy cane and an enemy attacked me. But in the game's defense, I think I've only ran into this once in the years I've played it, it just so happened that I was filming at the time. However, from accidentally finding this glitch, I did notice that you can't actually reset to last checkpoint, which can be a major pain in the butt if something like this happens, because really the only option left for you is to quit the game and start again, which would probably be a pain in the ass if you were almost towards the end of it. Perhaps one of the most memorable features that is in Jackrabbit 2 Holiday Hare, and is indeed shared by the entirety of the Jackrabbit franchise, is how good the music is. So if you've not played the game, I suggest you search on YouTube for the soundtrack, because I'm sure someone has probably put it up, and it's definitely worth hearing. So there you have it, Jackrabbit 2 Holiday Hare. An interesting spin-off and I suppose expansion to Jackrabbit 2, which is itself a very fun game. I wouldn't really suggest you pay money for this game because it is so very short, but if you can find it on an emulator or if you do see it going for 20 cents in a garage sale or something, definitely pick it up and definitely check it out because it is good fun. I usually give it a quick playthrough at least once during the Christmas season, and because it is so short it doesn't really demand much commitment, so you can really quickly play through it if you've just got a couple of moments to spare. That said, its short length is definitely not a positive, and if I were to name one major problem with this game, it's definitely that it's so very short. And with all of that said and done, thanks for watching. I have been and still am Grim Grindle, and if you're looking for more Christmas content, subscribe to channel Grim and Grin, because it's December, so we're going to do more Christmas content.